Do you know how this fight was made? So Jan Blachowicz fights Alexander Rakic. They're 1-1 coming into the third round. Whoever wins the third round is the winner. And Alexander Rakic pops his knee out. After a couple days, Magomed Ankalaev fights Anthony Smith. He fights Anthony Smith. In the second round, Anthony Smith throws a kick. Ankalaev checks the kick. And now Anthony Smith has a broken ankle. And because of that, it was easier for Magomed Ankalaev to win. And even when Magomed Ankalaev won, he did not get a title shot. So the parallel between Magomed Ankalaev and Jan Blachowicz is pretty evident. You really don't need to look for it. Both of them won, but because of an injury, their win was diminished. And Magomed Ankalaev's win was a lot more impressive than Jan Blachowicz, but he still did not get the title shot. So Yuri Prohaska calls out Glover Teixeira. And Yuri Prohaska calls out Glover Teixeira, but Glover Teixeira does not respond. So Jan Blachowicz saw this as an opportunity to put himself in the conversation, since Yuri Prohaska did say that he could be fighting Jan Blachowicz. So then Jan Blachowicz talks about his accomplishments. He talks about how after John Jones won, there was 3 champions. It was Glover Teixeira, Yuri Prohaska, and himself. And only one of them successfully defended the title. And defended the title against Adesanya, who was somewhere in the top 5 pound for pound ranking in the world. And Jan Blachowicz talks about all this, but Yuri Prohaska does not see Jan Blachowicz's tweet. So then Magomed Ankalaev took the opportunity to create some friction with Jan Blachowicz. He tries to pull down the value of Jan Blachowicz's accomplishments. He tries to diminish those accomplishments and say that they're not worth a damn. So then Jan Blachowicz has to respond. He got a little bit mad. But what Magomed Ankalaev did beautifully well is try to bait Jan Blachowicz in to reply. Because if Jan Blachowicz replies, there could be some friction. And if there's some friction, there could be fire. And if there's fire, there could be a fight. And Magomed Ankalaev knows that he's not gonna get a title shot, because it's been very clear for him that he's not gonna get a title shot. But Jan Blachowicz is not in the same position, so Jan Blachowicz could still get a title shot. And Magomed Ankalaev tries to pull Jan Blachowicz down with him, because Magomed Ankalaev knows that he's not gonna get a title shot. So if he's not gonna get a title shot, he decides that Jan Blachowicz is also not going to get a title shot. I don't get it, then you're not gonna get it. So then Jan Blachowicz replies, and then there was some friction. Then Magomed Ankalaev saw this as an opportunity to call out Jan Blachowicz. He said, "Fight me then." And Magomed Ankalaev, very smart for doing that, got a fight with Jan Blachowicz, which Jan Blachowicz was not expecting to do so, because he originally tried to call out Yuri Prohaska. He started off to call out Yuri Prohaska, but at the end of it, he got Magomed Ankalaev. And this story got lost somewhere along the lines, because this story is so funny that I don't know why people forgot about it. It got lost somewhere along the lines. It was so funny to the point that people wanted to see this fight. But they forgot why they wanted to see the fight. They got the fight, but they forgot immediately why they wanted to see the fight. And the problem is that you have the storyline, but nobody's talking about it, which you can completely do effortlessly, but I don't know why they're not doing it. Let me tell you a secret. That's no longer a secret, but I do not care about Volkanovski. I do not care about Volkanovski. And I do not fear backlash from that statement. I do not fear to be hated for that comment, because I don't care about Volkanovski. And I can say that without the fear of backlash, because I know you don't care about Volkanovski. Before you tell me that you care about Volkanovski, please tell me why you care about Volkanovski. And you might tell me, because he's you cannot tell me why you care about Volkanovski. Well, he's, you do not have an answer for me on why you care about Volkanovski. And I know that because I don't care about Volkanovski. You might tell me, well, he's the number one contender. He's the pound for pound number one fighter in the world and is the number one contender against Islam in a super fight. So I care about Volkanovski. What is there to care about Volkanovski? How could you care about somebody who's going to fight another guy in a cage fight without telling me because he's the number one pound for pound fighter in the world? How could you tell me that you care about him? Ask that question and answer it honestly on why you care about Volkanovski. Well, he's the pound for pound number one fighter in the world. I know that. I don't care about if Volkanovski is number 1, number 2, number 10. I do not care about him. And I know that you don't care about Volkanovski. That what you're telling me is nothing but air. That is the number one pound for pound fighter in the world. Why should you care about Volkanovski? And if you cannot present a story that people will care about, if you cannot present a story about yourself or your fight, I would not care about it, and more importantly, nobody would care about it.